The enduring fable of the noble Tsar, beset on all sides by the scheming Boyars, holds a peculiar resonance in the vast expanse of Russia's historical imagination. One cannot help but be struck by the insidious charm of this narrative as it winds its tendrils through the centuries, from the iron-fisted rule of Ivan the Terrible to the steely-eyed governance of Vladimir Putin. The notion that the Russian leader stands as a solitary bulwark against a tide of corrupt oligarchs is not merely a convenient trope. It is a cultural axiom deeply embedded in the Russian psyche. Vladimir Putin, a figure of no small cunning, has deftly co-opted this narrative of the benevolent autocrat for his own purposes. He presents himself as the latest incarnation of the good Tsar, a leader unflinchingly combating the nefarious forces that threaten the motherland. The Russian people, long inured to the harsh vicissitudes of power, find a measure of solace in this archetype. It is a familiar refrain that echoes through the annals of their history, the valiant ruler, alone in his struggle against the treachery of the powerful few who would destabilize and exploit the nation. It is this narrative that inoculates Putin against the kind of uprisings that have toppled lesser despots. The Russian populace, steeped as it is in a tradition that venerates the strong hand at the tiller, is not easily swayed by the siren calls of revolution that have echoed through the squares of other lands. They have seen the boyars change their coats, from the nobles of old to the oligarchs of the new Russia, but the song remains the same. Why, they wonder, should they cast their lot with the devil they don't know when the devil they do promises stability, national pride, and a bulwark against the chaos of a world that seems ever eager to encroach upon their sovereignty? The international order, with its relentless emphasis on democracy and human rights, fails to appreciate the depth of this narrative's roots in the Russian soul. To the outside observer, the machinations of the Kremlin appear as a mere autocrat's ploy to cling to power. Yet to the Russian on the street, there is a sense that Putin, like the good Tsars of old, is locked in a genuine struggle against avarice and treachery. This perception is reinforced by a state-controlled media that adeptly plays on the fears and aspirations of its audience, crafting a siege mentality that views dissent as the plaything of foreign agents and domestic traitors. Putin's regime has also mastered the art of spectacle, invoking the grandeur of Russia's imperial past and its heroic struggles against existential threats, from the Teutonic Knights to the Nazi war machine. The Russian leader deftly positions himself as the heir to this legacy, the commander who steers the ship of state through turbulent waters with an unshakable hand. The West's failure to understand this potent blend of historical narrative and political theatre has led to a series of miscalculations about the Russian people's willingness to unseat their leader. Critics of the good Tsar, bad Boyars motif rightly point out its reductiveness and its potential to absolve the ruler of any missteps while demonizing his opponents. Yet, in the vast and intricate tapestry that is Russian governance, the allure of this narrative cannot be overstated. It is not simply a story told to children before bed, but a fundamental aspect of the national character. It provides a framework that justifies extraordinary measures taken in the name of the greater good, and insulates the central figure from the consequences of those actions. The question, then, is not why the Russian people have not cast off the yoke of their latest Tsar. The question is how they could ever be expected to, when the myth of the good Tsar and the bad Boyars is interwoven so thoroughly into the fabric of their nationhood. It is a narrative that has withstood the test of time, outlasting empires and ideologies alike. Putin's grasp on power is not merely the result of political machinations. It is undergirded by a story that has been told for centuries, a story that still finds eager listeners among the snow-swept plains and towering cities of Russia today.